Hello, we're back, and now we're going to be identifying x-intercepts, y-intercepts, holes, horizontal asymptotes, and vertical asymptotes. So this is level 1. Got 5x over 3x plus 1. Now normally you'd factor, you'd do a bunch of stuff, but in this case it's easy, you don't need to do that. So you're just left with that. Negative 5 over 3x is our final thing. Where do we find, normally the horizontal asymptote, we don't have that because you have to have x's on both top and bottom. In this situation you don't. So no HA. Next you gotta find the vertical asymptote, which is where the denominator equals 0. Equal that to 0 minus 1 to get that over on this side. 3x equals negative 1 divided by 3. That's literally just the answer, negative 1 over 3. And that's the vertical asymptote. Vertical H or A. And then next is actually the numerator equals 0. We can't do anything because if you equal negative 5 to 0, it's the exact same thing. So no x-intercept, and then the y-intercept, just plug in a 0 to whatever x's are in the problem. In this case, there's 1 on the denominator, which would then equal negative 5 over just positive 1, and that exactly just comes out to negative 5. So that is your y-intercept. So recap, no horizontal asymptote. There are no holes in the graph. There is one vertical asymptote, negative 1 over 3, and y-intercept, which is just negative 5. And that is it for today. Alright, so now we're on to level 2. Still a little simple, but you're still finding horizontal asymptotes, vertical asymptotes, x and y-intercepts, and holes. So in this situation, you actually, instead of just leaving it like I did, you have to factor, because you have to factor there, and that would leave you with x. Actually, what multiplies to positive 15 but adds to negative 8, and that would be negative 5 and negative 3. So you do negative 5 and then x negative 3 over x minus 5. These are the same, and when they're the same, you cancel them out. So in this situation, I'm going to cancel those out, and I'm just left with x minus 3. And that is my answer for now. Now, there's no horizontal asymptote because there has to be x's on both top and bottom. In this situation, there's just one x. There's not even a denominator. And so, no HA. And then next, y-coordinate, which is just or y-intercept, which would just be plugging a 0 for that x, that x. So then x minus 3, that's just negative 3. So y-intercept, negative 3. That one's pretty easy. Find your hole, which in this case, our hole is x minus 5. What does that x minus 5, how do you get to 0? 5 minus negative 5 is 0. So hole would be 5. So then that's the first point, but you have to plug that into x. 5 minus 3 is 2, so then that's the next point. So then that's the hole. And then next is, it's when you equal the numerator to 0. There's not even really a numerator, it's just 3, because you just add plus 3, x equals 0, or x equals 3. So x-intercept equals 3. And then horizontal asymptote, I don't think there is no horizontal asymptote, no asymptotes at all due to it just being there. So that is your answer. To recap, we have no horizontal asymptote, no vertical asymptote, a hole at 5 and 2, y-intercept equals 3, or negative 3, and x-intercept equals just normal 3. And that will be level 2. So this is level 3. It's a little bit harder than the last two, but It's still relatively easy, especially when you have me. So now you have negative 2x squared plus 10x minus 8 over x minus 1. It's just gonna take a little take a little longer, maybe a little harder to get to where you want, but it'll be fine. So in this situation, you have that 2x squared. In order to simplify this, you take out that negative 2, which then turns that positive 10 to a negative 5, and then turns that negative 8 to a positive 4. Forget that 2 for a second, and then just factor the inside, which would be x minus 4. Multiplies the 4, adds negative 5, which would be x minus 4, and then x, oops, got that in wrong. It's x minus 4, and then x minus 1. That multiplies positive 4, adds to negative 5, and then basically you now have a negative 1 on both top and bottom. Cancel that out, and you have negative 2x minus 4, and then no bottom. So then with this, there is no horizontal asymptotes because have to have an x on top and bottom. In this case you don't, so we never actually got to do horizontal asymptote. There's a hole at that negative 1, so put that to equal 0, that negative 1 has to be, the x has to be 1, and which would then plug that back in. So then negative 2 over 1 minus 4, kind of distribute, and then it'd be negative 2 plus 8, and then just add that together, which would be 6. So then the whole is 1, and then positive 6 for the whole. For the x-intercept, it's just the numerator, which in this case, this is just the numerator. And then, but you only do this part, so then it's just x minus 4 equals 0 plus 4 on both sides, x equals 4. With the y-intercept, as I said earlier, just plug in that 0 into the x, so then it's just all that equals to negative 8 or positive 8, sorry. And that's it for the hard ones.